It's a twofer because it was too long. I won't do the joke. You can do it later. Okay, here we go. Just answering questions with LabTech. You know, actually, in the second airplane sequence, you hear officer shot. So Brady Cook was shot when this plane was in sight at 3:45 in a video until you can't see it anymore. I believe it did bank right, heading east, way in the distance. I would bet this has been claimed a helicopter before it gets to the Mandalay Bay, in between the Mandalay Bay and the Delano and above the Luxor, as the lying Hoover would say, going the wrong way or some other BS. Counterpoint. I don't like Hoover, but I don't feel comfortable calling him a liar. I now believe really that he's triggered. I think there's something going on with him. Also, I don't want to be mean to people anymore. I really don't. I mean, when people go out of their way to literally lie to you, I mean, I think he's kind of misleading. But he did provide us some stuff to look up. Got to point that out. But yeah, I'm going to point out something simple. Airplane versus helicopter versus whatever. Unless we can get accurate data, flight radar's garbage, we don't know. So let's continue. The first one is important for perspective on how far these aircraft are away. My gosh, I'm so tired of it. The second one is the supposed screenshot of Manny's video at the end, I bet, too. Okay. I haven't analyzed this fully for a very simple reason. I'm going to read the rest of your question here, but I'm going to go ahead and do this. Here we go. First off, do you think my statement is accurate or crap? Honest opinion. I don't know. So let's just say it's crap, and let's say it's perfect. It's probably not going to be perfect, so let's say it's mostly accurate, but not dishonest or crap. There's something in the middle here. You'd be surprised how many videos I've looked at where someone came to a conclusion, and it was the wrong conclusion, but they had some useful data. I don't know. And the trouble is, every time I want to do this sort of thing, I run into the same requirement. I need the original video from the original source, unless it's been taken down again. And I need to have a clear explanation as to what people want me to look up. Usually they do it in a video and they circle things. That's great. But they have to make an assertion that has a definitive statement to it. Not because I'm trying to do a gotcha or have a falsifiability test, which is actually partially a reason. It's because I need to know what they're looking at. Today I looked at I'm a Gary Newman fan, sorry. I looked at a video he did, and I tried to find the exact location some of the scenes were filmed in. Without a definitive statement about it, I go down the rabbit hole. And yes, I've explored more of this country than I want to think about from street level in Street View. Still didn't find it, and I'm going to keep looking. But a definitive, here's the GPS, you're not going to get most of the time. Well, yeah, actually you can. Reddit had it. Somebody who was working on the shot actually did that. But the point I'm making here is, and there is a point, when I look up something, I need to have a definitive source of what the assertion is, and it has to be clear for two reasons. One, falsifiability test, actually more than one. Two, so I can figure out what the heck I'm looking up. And three, very importantly, so the person making the assertion knows what they're asserting. Too often in these videos and conspiracy theories, it's left vague on purpose as a way to distract or manipulate people, but other times it's because the person cannot form a concept. It's okay to say something here, but I know what it is, but it's not okay not to at least try to make it an assertion that has a definitive statement. So we go on for the next. Okay. I know I will always get the truth from you. Not always. Sometimes I play games with people's heads. No, I'm not actually that clever. I literally just do these straight. But I have messed with people because they mess with me. But you have to do something pretty severe. So, okay. I can't put the time of these aircraft into the equation. I am terrible at what volley, what time is officially at. It's time for Sangram. He's got a new channel. No, he's really good at this stuff. He's terrifyingly good at it. I want to be him when I grow up. This is my reply to such and such on this video. I asked you to check out. I know these planes. I am pretty sure that the second one is also an airplane, but I have been told that it is not. Maybe it is a helicopter. I think I heard on the radio traffic the famous shots are coming from Gate 7. There is an audio recording of that. Everybody that night was so confused they couldn't figure out where it was. And again, I'm going to repeat this. The sounds of the shots going overhead hypersonically mixed with the shots from far away out of sync made it sound like it came from everywhere. And then those noises bounced off of everything, which is really, really weird trying to figure it out. It confused the hell out of me. Even I thought those were bullet impacts, but they were actually hypersonic cracks. When one of these are airborne or in the time frame at least. Okay, anyway. Yes, one of them was an airborne. A lot of them were. You'd have to literally fully sync every single video recording, which I don't want to do, and Mr. Visual would probably lose his mind doing it. But if we did it, we could create a complete 3D model of it. Yes, I tried building an online VRML full 3D rendering of Las Vegas with all of the cameras moving and aiming correctly. I figured out how much space it would take up. I gave up. I don't know of any other way to do it except to really hardcore 3D simulate this in a VR environment. I don't know how to do it. And on top of that, Mr. Visual Channel, many of the videos don't have the proper audio-video sync correctly done. Okay. It's also amazing me how far they are away in these videos. Even with flight radar and all of the other sites made available to the general public, they all say they are not accurate and even have system glitches and failures. Yes, most of the time the information is dumped. There's a live version, and we're going to call it a Memorax version. You know who you are if you're watching. Planes have been mistaken for helicopters, and also the transponders get confused too, because they're off by their binary codes. They're off by a couple of digits because a plane and a helicopter got the same transponder number issued that month. It only has to be a single bit error, and if it does an update, they'll cross up. There's a technical blog for Flight Radar, by the way. It's an archive. I'll try to dig it up and post it. Planes have been mistaken for helicopters. Those ones that appear for long periods of time between the Mandalay Bay and the Delano are not hovering. They are planes 7 miles off in the distance heading north out of the mountain range before they head east, west, etc. They're also slowly climbing. The best body-worn camera footage, just say chin cam please, I'm going to copyright that, footage I have seen that cannot be manipulated with 2 aircraft is the following. They took off during the shooting. I don't have the official time, but my guess is the first one in the video is around 4 minutes into the shooting. Watch how long you can see the second one traveling in the distance. I guarantee that you could see the second one appear in the open air view between Mandalay Bay and the Delano. If it eventually heads east, I bet you can see it later on above the Luxor and Excalibur. That's actually what a lot of us have come to the conclusion about. As you know, such and such with Vegas and the suburbs in the middle of the canyon, so to speak. You can see aircraft from miles and miles away. Now we add the cell phone camera with the camera footage. It does not put things into play like my favorite depth perception. What looks close could actually be very long ways away. The first 6 minutes of the footage from Russell, I think, is important evidence. Trying to say yes, and he puts a link, and I'm going to hit enter and make sure that's emphasis added here. I'll put it at the bottom. Pretty much from the start through 6 minutes should put the helicopters hovering behind Mandalay Bay to rest. This video covers the back end of those buildings because obviously officer would have said, what are they doing back there? Probably would have heard gunfire too. This also proves that the gunfire came from that room because the 200 wing on the other side of the building is not allowing us to hear any gunfire. That we used on the spot, but facing the front, he would have been able to. Yeah, I actually came to that conclusion too. I did that when I was doing the bus stop double shots because I noticed this blocking effect, and I've given up on it because someone else figured it out. Again, Mr. Visual and NSERV even. If it wasn't facing northern, sorry, gunfire. Okay, I think that you get my point. I added the information from the link done to my question on my statement in the beginning. Disregard the link posted down. Lol. Okay. So to conclude, at 9 minutes, this is the reason this entire thing gets a separate video. I might actually title it in some way that's worthwhile. We'll see. Unless we can coordinate all this data, we're just waving in the breeze like idiots. And even when we do, we have issues because not all the machines are consistent. The cell phones don't sync up correctly. The overriding thing I've used is a basic test, and this is the thing I'm doing. It's like the video game Half-Life. Forget Freeman. Forget the helicopters and planes. Unless you see something that lines up with a shooting at angle to a source, there is no reason to consider them. They're not suspicious in any way because the first stage is where are the shots coming from. This is a distraction tactic. This is the reason I got mad at Hoover. Bringing up air flights in the area and not actually definitively saying it's a gunship, and then having to prove it means the person can weasel out. That's what I accuse Hoover of, and that's mean. But that's true. Because it has got nothing, it's, again, this is a half-built thing. Why are we concentrating on this? What does it add? If you wonder how Paddock could shoot from 600 yards away, down from 300 feet, into a crowd, and hit people pseudo-precision, even though he's just praying and spraying into a crowd that was packed, why would you think an airplane, at minimum 600 feet further away, floating in the air, would be better as a platform from shooting from? I haven't brought this up, but literally the best place to shoot from is where Paddock was. He wanted the 200 wing originally, or the other wing, I don't remember which one, to shoot. And I'm suspicious he wasn't actually going to shoot at the concert goers. I'm suspicious he was really deliberately going to shoot at the airplanes. What would be more of an effect? Shooting at a festival? Or shooting at a festival in the fuel tanks? Or shooting at a festival and shooting a bunch of planes taking off? Planes taking off and landing are very consistent. They have to be, or they can't land or take off. Nobody brought that up. That's what scares the crap out of me. Eventually he wanted that wing instead of the other, apparently. I don't even know that's true, but I've got to investigate that. Think of that. Literally not shooting the fuel tanks, but trying to shoot the airplanes. Maybe he wasn't aiming for the damn tanks. Maybe he just had a shit location for that and decided to take advantage of what he really wanted to do. Individual pain. And think how terrifying it is that the average person out there with a hunting rifle could do about the same thing. If they just knew where to do it. Oh, that's right, he was a pilot, wasn't he? Good luck with it.